Not the Footy Show.
Oh, it was always going to happen. I'm proud of the club that they put a timeline on it. We're sick of waiting. We knew what was going to happen, so we were sick of waiting. And to Don's credit, he put a time frame on his manager and got what we knew was coming. It's really disappointing. John's he's a real big part of the squad, and he's a world-class player. So to lose him is really disappoints me because we here at the club work so hard to build a strong roster, and then you're getting players pulled out of it the way John has really disappointed me. Disappointed me with the way the game allows it. I feel as though that the game, the NRL need to help clubs in regards to how we have to deal with certain managers over the way they agitate clubs and manipulate communications and negotiations to suit them and them only. It's not always in the best interest of the player, and it disappoints me because it's so hard to build a strong roster. But proud of the club that they've took a stance and wanted to get a decision, because the last thing we're going to be is a club such as the Broncos or the Warriors, where they've just been ruined by agitation and the manipulation of roster. We offered John a very, very good offer last year to his English manager and then his new manager. It was a very, very, very good offer. And it was to the words of you're getting closer, I thought it was disrespectful to Don and the club. And that day there, I knew that we wouldn't be keeping John, and therefore we needed to spend the money. I understand it's a professional business, and you've got to make these decisions, but it's just how it's been done that's disappointed me. And it's not only this instance. I think there's managers that need to have a higher degree of integrity and respect for clubs in their negotiations and communications, because there are so many good blokes out there who are managers who take their players' welfare into consideration very highly, and they're getting tarred with the same brush as a few others who are, I believe, disrespecting the situation of being, or the position of being manager. So until the league jumps in and starts helping clubs with the rot that happens in communications and manipulation of rosters, we've got our hands tied behind our back, basically.
Okay, we're back. It's episode 218, Not the Footy Show. We've just gone into the depths of despair that is the Brisbane Broncos and Supercoach Seabold on his 5-year deal. Did he mention that? I'm not sure if he did.
I've got a 5-year deal here.
Johnny Bateman. We are the founding members of the John Bateman Appreciation Society, and it is...
I resign.
I'm out.
You resigned today. I teetered on the end of my presidency of giving it away. I've decided that I will see out my term. Unlike John, I will see out my term as the president of the John Bateman Appreciation Society. Ricky Stuart has come out today and responded to the report that was in the Telegraph, I think, saying that Bateman told his teammates this morning that he will not be at Canberra in 2021. He will not pick up what he says is an option for 2021. Although one would argue, has he even taken up the option for 2020, because they haven't seen him at all this year. The Raiders paid a big transfer fee for John Bateman. They signed him to a pretty good contract, given he had not played. He played some test football and had been okay, but he'd never really made an impact on the Australian market in any of those tests that he played. I'd seen him play in the Super League and had a big opinion of him. It got warranted last year. He was Dally M second row of the year. And then he decided, whether he decided or the team and Bateman decided, not to get his shoulder fixed, Cocksmith, until all the off-season pretty much had been done. He played a test series at the end of the year, and then he had a few months off. And then we got the news, was it about November or December? Or was it maybe in January? Oh, I've got to get my shoulder reconstructed. And you're like, whoosh. Now, that had come after he had slipped something through during grand final week about wanting an upgrade. fast forward to today, and Ricky Stuart has unloaded on Isaac Moses, soon to be maybe deregistered Isaac Moses, and Bateman. Let's not pretend he hasn't had a go at John Bateman here today. I know he's said that we'll be professional enough to get through the season, but he is not happy. And the key part of this whole presser comes down to one quote, and I'll get to it in a sec, but he has definitely told it like it is, which is what Ricky Stuart does. And that is, we ain't happy, and he can go.
I love Ricky Stuart's presses. I really do. Except when he's aiming his vitriol at me.
Get out of the presser.
Just the way he stares at you when you photograph him with a really big lens up close. No, look, mate, I do love his press conferences, especially when he's got a message he wants to deliver. All those questions you asked about John Bateman is reasonable. I mean, they put that shoulder thing off for a long while. I mean, just a question transfer fees. If he wants to leave, does someone, and they've paid a transfer fee, does someone have to pick up that transfer fee unless he goes back to England?
Don't know 100% for sure, but I don't think so. And I think it is related to the fact that he's not technically under contract for next year if he doesn't take the option up.
Right.
Now, it's a mutual option, I think. And again, I'm alleging this stuff. But as I understand it, they've done their money. That's the best way I can describe it.
Wasn't it worth about 300 grand?
It was apparently a lot of money. It was definitely six figures. And they almost got a grand final. They got a grand final of it last year, didn't get a premiership. And you'd take a grand, like if they got there again this year, if they won the comp this year, it'd be worth it. It would be worth it for Canberra. It's just a shame that the core of this entire saga is a change in management, a rejection of a upgrade while he was only halfway through his first year of his 3-year deal or 2-year deal plus option.
Yep.
And the quote that apparently Isaac Moses said to Don Furner when he offered the upgrade, which was, "You're getting closer," and Ricky Stuart teed off on that, and he has every right to do so.
Rightfully so. I mean, that's just treating a club with disdain and just treating them like a hole in the ground with money in it. I mean, you know, we've heard the stories about John. He's got a daughter, a 12-year-old daughter. I've got a 12-year-old son. I know how close you can be to young kids, and they've played that in with this whole narrative about, he might want to go back to Wigan. You know, if that's the case, I mean, if he wanted to go back to Wigan, I know what Ricky's like with family.
Yeah, 100%.
If he wanted to go back to Wigan, Ricky would say, "With my blessing, you go back to Wigan, mate. We've got a great year out of you last year. Let's see if we can finish strong this year." But to that one sentence from Isaac Moses, allegedly, who said, "You're getting closer," when offered what Ricky considers to be a very good contract or a good upgrade to the existing contract, that just says to you and I, and especially Ricky and Don Furner, that it's all about money.
Yep.
It's all about money. It's all about getting the new manager in on the pay deal. And I don't know if John Bateman sees that. He seems like a pretty switched on dude.
Yeah. He's
parted ways with his old manager. So for his new manager, we've described this before and explained it before, for his new manager to get any part of any money that John Bateman earns, he has to get a new contract. The existing contract is under the old management's scheme.
Yep.
And they get their 4, 5, 6%, whatever it may be. So Isaac Moses, to get any money out of John Bateman, either has to get an upgraded contract from Canberra or another contract elsewhere, which looks like it could very well be with the Bulldogs in 2021, and you can guarantee it that it'll probably be worth around about $700,000 or $800,000 a year. And then Isaac Moses will, as soon as that gets signed off, he will then take his 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10%, whatever it is. It's all about money. I sent you a message today, didn't I?
100%.
All you got to do is follow the money trail, and you'll find the turd.
He admitted, and we said it on the pod the last time we discussed the John Bateman Appreciation Society and how we, convened an emergency meeting, because he said, "Well, what happens if I don't play like I did last year?" He said those words. So, and this is the bit where I go, like, Yeah, it's
So what you're saying there, when you're alluding to that, do you think, here's a conspiracy theory for you. I'll leave my shoulder until January.
Oh,
And I'm not going to have to play until July or August. By then, my contract will be done. Could that have played in someone's head, do you think? I'm not saying it did or didn't, but it's always a possibility.
That's the
Anything's a
decision. I
possibility.
just don't. If you knew, and this is the part of it, if this offer was made last year, we don't know when it was made. Stuart didn't clarify it, but it was definitely after he'd got rid of the other manager. So we're ballparking sort of September, August, that kind of semi-finals time. So at that stage, Bateman would have been injured because he said he played that last period of the year with the dodgy shoulder. Maybe Canberra were just sort of going, well, if we don't force him to have the surgery, he might change his mind. He might realise that he's got on a good.
But then he went and played a test match. He played a test match after
it didn't
the grand
happen
final.
that was a disappointing thing. But I will say this, as the president of the JBAS, if he can come back on the field in the next month or so, whenever it's supposed to be, and he can help Canberra right this rickety ship, whatever they've got going at the moment. It's the longboat's in all sorts of danger and trouble. Well, they have replaced the right centre, Orman. I just noticed today. Then I will be only disappointed that he's leaving. I won't be bitter that he's leaving. And that comes back down onto John Bateman's shoulders, ironically enough.
As a former member of the JBAS, I don't think Canberra are in all that big a problem, mate, to be honest with you. Look, they lost by 1 point in a golden point match to the team that are leading the competition. They don't look as great as they did a couple of weeks ago on the ladder, but they're going to be in the 8. They're going to be in the 4, I believe, in the top 4. I don't think there's a whole lot wrong with them at the moment. And, as a footnote to all of this, I think Corey Horsburgh is a living legend. How much passion does that bloke play with? How much passion does he play with every single week? Maybe not next week, but every week.
16 weeks, but yes.
It's 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Were you at the game?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay. Did he get booed? Can you? I don't want to say it revealed, but
no, he did.
What happened?
He got booed. Well, there are about 500 corporates, Parramatta corporates in the grandstand on that western side, and they gave it to him as he left the field because he was a bit upset. His emotions boiled over. The ranger got upset, and that's what redheaded people do. I've told you before. Most of my family are redheads, and they're all very fiery. So I know all about family gatherings and fisticuffs, and maybe not fisticuffs, but good arguments and whatnot. And rangers do get a bit excited when the emotion starts to flow, and he obviously was. He plays with emotion, that player, and I love him for it. But the Parramatta fans booed him and were yelling things at him. I couldn't exactly hear what, but I could hear a lot of yelling going on because I was on the other side of the stadium. I was on the eastern side of the stadium. And, he flipped him off. Gave him the double-barrel bird. Good on him. I don't mind it.
That's what it is. And I just find it, the hypocrisy of some fan bases is pretty hilarious. I will say that much.
Before you go any further, some of the very worst comments I've ever heard have been when I've been at the Raiders Stadium.
Not debating that at all. I'm just saying.
Not by you.
No.
But,
hopefully not by me. But the hypocrisy of fans is just hilarious. That's the biggest part of what I'll say is that it's always sucked in if it's happened to you, but when it's happened to me, we'll protect our own, and we've never done a thing wrong. And please. Anywho, so yes, I will be still presidente of the JBAS until at least the end of 2020.
Well, you've lost the 2 other members. The 2 other members are out.
Who are the other 2 members? Oh, John. Sorry, he's
me and Ricky.
Oh, I thought Johnny Bateman was part of it. That's what you declared in the last podcast, if I recall.
Did I?
He was challenging me for the presidency.
There's 2 members.
It is. Look, we've got more things to talk about as we wrap this episode up. I don't want to be going for too much longer. We'll give you our tips for round 8 and discuss 2 other things that came up in the news in the last 24 hours here on episode 218 of Not The Footy Show.
Not The Footy Show.
One thing is for certain, there is no stopping them. The ants will soon be here. And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. Like to remind them that
I've got a 5-year deal here.
Not the footy show.